guys, this is SEMM1013 Programming for Engineers. This is lecture 2. We are still basically on the basic of programming, C programming, the fundamental issues. All right. Okay, let me share the slide. Okay, this is lecture 2. All right, we are still basically looking at the very basic and fundamental element of C programming. In this lecture, we will basically cover the basic C character sets. We also will be looking at identifiers and keywords, data types, constant, variables, array declaration, expression, and statements. Okay, so basic character sets that are very much accepted in C programming will include all these following letters: uppercase, lowercase, digits from 0 to 9. Of course, any combination of digits, and all these special characters are basically a basic character set for in the C programming environment. You can use any of these things, in combination that covers all these things here. All right, for the basic for identifiers, basically identifiers are names that are given to a variable, function, and array. Identifiers is basically user defined. Based on your own definition, you can name your anything as your identifiers, which basically suit your need. Okay. It says here identifiers consist of letters and digits, and you can combine letters and digits, but the first character must be letter, not digits. All right, these are some example of valid identifiers. You have X, Y, 12. This one you can basically combine Y and letter Y and number 1 and 2. Basically you can straight away put all I would say lowercase letters in this thing. You have okay, we have all capital letters by the word table. Then you have sum combined with 1. Then you have tax rate combined with underscore basically, and you have underscore beginning for the temperature. And then you have more example on invalid identifiers. All right, for example, you have 4 and T and H. You have numbers in front of the identifiers. This is not correct. Of course, number X, you cannot use this double quote in the front and at the end. All right, and of course you cannot use dash here. I'm sorry, you cannot use dash, and you can use basically space. All right, so that's the very basic rule of putting identifiers. Again, identifiers are basically names that are given to variable, function, and arrays. This is user defined. This is your own name. You can put anything you want basically. All right. And in C programming, there are certain reserved words that have standards, predefined meaning in C, in which you cannot use these keywords as your identifier. All right, so you cannot use auto, you cannot use break, case, char, constant, const, continue, default, do, double, else, while. You cannot use all of these keywords as your identifier. All right, again, for identifier, these are the names that is very much user defined. You can use to represent any of your variables. All right, you can use them according to the rule, but these special keywords basically are specified for the C programming environment. Special keyword, you cannot use this because this is they have special meaning for C programming. All right, and then this is basic data types. All right, data type are basically special keyword that we use to represent certain special quantity. For example, in this case, we have integer int, which represent numbers uh, um, from to represent 8-bit numbers. Okay, from I think minus 32,768 to plus 32,768. All right, and the next one we have char. Char is basically a single character data type which goes to just 8-bit, like A, B, and C and all. All right, just the letter A, okay, or letter B or letter C or letter D, because letter A is basically 8-bit, letter B is basically 8-bit, letter C is basically 8-bit, and this letter can be represented by the basic data type of char. All right, so float goes for floating point number and double goes for floating point number but double precision. All right, these are also some special constant in the C programming. You have integer constant. For example, these are the basically decimal integer, octal integer, and you have hexadecimal integer. This is how you write. For integer constant, basically just exactly the number you can put it into the programming. For decimal integer, you can put 0, you can put 1, you can put minus, you can put whatever number you want. In octal representation, you have to put 0 in front. In the hexadecimal representation, you have to put x. 0x something, 0x something. Okay. This is a floating point constant, numbers with dot. All right, and you can decimate the thing by using the word e, exponential, and of course exponential figures. Right. Then you have character constant ax3, the symbol here, and this is the space. This is character constant in escape sequences /n/t. We will be looking on how to use all this character basically when we put on some exercises. All right, and this is string constant, greens, kudai, all these things are basically constant that you can use and you can type in the C programming. Of course, now we are looking at variables. Variable is an identifier. Okay, remember again what we have talked about for the identifier. Basically, this is the user-defined names to represent anything basically in the world of programming. Um, Variable here is basically an identifier that is used to represent some specific information in your programming. In the simplest form, variable is used to represent a single data items. All right. For example, here we have A, B, C. A, B, C is basically identifier, which is in a form of variable taking into the data type of integer. All right, so A you can give one value 3, B you can give one value 5, C you can put it in terms of statements or expression. Okay, so ABC is a kind of variable, ABC is a kind of identifier, ABC is taking a data type of integer in which A, B, and C you can give in values. All right. So again, point number 2, variable is used to represent a single data item. 3 is data value. 5 is data value to B, meaning here A will take the value of will be equate to 3, B will be equate to 5, and C will be equate to the summation of A and B. In this case, it will be 8. All right. So these are another basic fundamental of programming, which is array. Array is identifier that is used to represent collection of data items. All right, if we go back to variable, variable only take only one value, one data. If we have multiple data, okay, we can basically use array. Okay, for example, integer x is our identifier, x is our variable, but x here is taking 5 spaces, 5 memory slots. All right. In this case, A is taking only one memory slot, B is taking one memory slot, C is taking one memory slot. That's why you are looking at A. You can basically only give one value of 16-bit data, because A, you have only 16-bit slot or one slot. All right. For the array, basically we are working with multiple slot. In this case, we are allocating 5 slot. This is how you write the declaration of x for data type of integer. So in this case, for this first statement, basically we are declaring a variable or an identifier of x with 5 slots. All right, each slot is 16-bit. All right, with the type of integer. Okay, so you can see how we allocate the data into each slot is x. Okay, you can see this square bracket. Here we, in the declaration, we are taking we are booking 5 slots. All right, now we are giving the value for each slot. All right, we have x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, for example. So x1 is equal to 10, x2 is equal to 50, and so on. All right, so in this case, these are all the value of x, but different x. You can basically say that, because sometimes one variable we need to work with only one data, because we have only one data. Sometimes we have a lot of data that correspond to one variable. So that one variable, for example, x, we can store multiple data. This is how basically you work. All right. Of course, we will be looking into example of how we will work into this. Okay, and then next we have declaration. The declaration is basically associates a group of variables with a specific data type. All variables must be declared before they can be used in the programming. Example of declaration statement is integer ABC. You have seen this. This is float, root1 and root2, char, flag, or text. All right. So for example, here text, you are looking at the text that taking the array concept. This is a single declaration variable. So both root1 and root2 are basically taking the data type of float. You can declare this root1 float root1, the next line float root2. Okay, you can do that as well. But in this case, we gather root1 and root2. We declare in one line by the data type of float. All right. So this is how you declare variable. Example, here you have float C1 and C2, char, flag, and text 9. So this is how basically you can use C1 is equal to what, C2 is equal to what, flag is equal to what, and all that. All right, so before you can use the variable or identifier in the programming, you have to declare the thing. All right. If you don't declare, then your when you try to compile your program, they will basically indicate syntax error. All right, this is the last part of lecture 2, the expression and statement. Expression represent a single data items, a plus b, x equal to y, x is smaller or equal to y. Statement causes the computer to carry out some action, can be logic, can be arithmetic. Okay, and then you have statement. Statement consists of expression followed by a semicolon. All right, as you can see, this is a statement is basically a complete error-free line in your programming. Okay, this is just expression, can be anything, can be a plus b, can be x plus y, and all that, can be x equal to y. This kind of term you call as expression. All right, but a full complete line of code terminated by a semicolon, you call it statement. Okay, a compound statement consists of several individual statements enclosed within a pair of braces. So we will see how we can use these braces. And the control statement is to create special branches. All right, will be very much on the advanced part, in which we will basically see this thing in the exercise. All right. So that's all basically for lecture 2. Bye.